Survivor 43 has officially come to a close, and I'm speaking with fifth place finisher Karla. Karla, I'm so excited to get to chat with you. How are you?
I'm good. It's early, but I'm great.
All right, let's start with this. So, a big question here. So, I believe that you were often seen as a big threat this season. So, do you feel that was valid? That other people also saw you as a threat, and if so, why?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard, right? You don't want to call yourself a big threat because everyone's like, "Wow, your head's too big." But you heard it out there, right? Like people were like, "We got to get her out." So for me, I think a lot of it was around like my social skills. I quickly bonded with a lot of people. I feel like I just know how to talk people up, right? But at the same time, it's very genuine. I was able to make friends with everyone. I think people were they were underestimated by like my challenge performance. I think that they thought my injuries would like hinder me, and then they realized, Karla's not going to give up. And then just the fact that I can talk my talk, like I will try to get myself out of anything or not. Like, let me talk and let's see what I can do. So I think I think I played a very strong game. I worked my ass off, and I did not. I did not go down without a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's touch on that social aspect of the game a little bit. So pre-merge, you had really strong relations with James and Cass specifically. So what did those relations mean to you so early on in the game? And then how do you think that maybe propelled you further on in the game?
Yeah. So I think I'll start by saying that. Well, it's crazy because I had relationships with everyone at Coco. I literally was in the middle, right? So like I was working with Ryan and Gio, and then I was working with James, Lindsay, and Cass. And so I think for me to find myself in the middle, and at first I was so scared to be in the middle because I was like, what if they discover my game? And that's essentially what happened in the way that like when I voted Lindsay out, it wasn't really about the paranoia, but for me, it was about her discovering my game. And if she discovers that like I'm playing the middle, she can rat me out, right? So there was a lot that went into that that I helped maneuver, and I think finding the confidence that I had at Coco and knowing that I can, like be in a situation where I'm in the middle and people don't know that I'm a threat and that I'm playing both sides. I went into the merge being like, all right, let me tone it down a little bit more because they didn't realize what I had just pulled out at Coco, and I didn't want them to realize that clearly, which is why James got a lot of the heat for it. So I said, once I get to the merge, let me lay low, let me build new relationships and see where that can take me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so something else that was kind of interesting to me, maybe post-merge, was when you guys had to do the split tribes, and Sammy comes to you and he's like, hey, I think we're gonna get out James. What's your initial thought process when Sammy comes and tells you that?
Sam, you want to know what did it for me? So Sammy came and told me, and he said, I just want to let you know that James has been talking about your idol. And I was like, what idol? What are you talking about? I don't have a freaking idol. And he said, well, he has the knowledge is power. So if he's going to get anyone's idol, it's going to be yours. And I kept trying to like, say, no, I don't have an idol. I was like, that's wild. But why would he be throwing my name out? So Sammy did a really good job at lying and throwing James's name under the bus. But at the same time, everyone clearly was so afraid of knowledge is power. I mean, it came back twice, right? And so I was like, if anything, let me at least try to get this out for the second time because it's way too dangerous. And you saw clearly all the idols go to
Right.
a lot of people.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. All right, so something else that was just super fascinating to me throughout this season was kind of seeing the dynamic between you and Cass, because you were close, and then you were kind of against each other, and then you were close, then maybe against each other again. So I just want to know, why ultimately were you maybe targeting her as opposed to some of the males left in the game, given that there was so many males in the game?
Yeah, good question. It's interesting because I remember when Sammy first threw Cass's name out under he was like, she's been targeting you. I think a lot of people make it seem like that was a lie. But in reality, it was true because it was then revealed to me that that was true. That I think it was before the Noel vote, and both Cass and Sammy confirmed that yes, they were scheming to try to get me out way earlier in the game. And so for me to then be like, also for me it was like, listen, I had told her about my idol. I didn't know who knew about my idol at that point, but there were rumors, but I didn't know. So for me, I was like, well, if anything, let me try to get her out now before she tries to get me out with the knowledge that she had about my idol. And then also, like, it's important to be able to differentiate yourself from the people that you've been playing the closest game with. You saw me try to do that with Cass, and then you saw Jesse successfully do that with Cody. I think it's important to be able to break away from your number ones, so you can say I had, the better game, or I was able to get them out. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was what happened with there.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, I think. So let's touch on the physical aspect of your game a little bit. So I believe you won 2 immunities this season. So congrats on that. But also, as you said, I don't think people saw you as a physical threat per se. So what did it mean to you to be able to win both of those immunities?
I, in a way, I was doing it for, I think, so I came into the game wanting to represent plus size women, and show that we are competitive and show that I can win challenges. And so for me, to see my body be able to pull through pain, obviously doing, during all these injuries, just meant so much to me that I have the ability to persevere and to push through, and that I'm a lot stronger than I know that I am. Your body will do literally anything it wants it to do as long as you allow it to do it. So for me, it was that I was challenging myself, and I learned a lot about myself out there, especially with all those freaking injuries.
Well, I think you were a huge inspiration and role model to a lot of people that you were hoping to touch, So, all right, we have to talk about that final tribal a little bit. So, first of all, tell me, did you know who you were going to vote going into final tribal? And also, why Gabler? Because I've been asking this all morning, but I think a lot of viewers were pretty shocked by that.
Yeah, so okay. You get into a position where we play a game that is so, all right, the final three, they played very low-key games, right?
Hmm.
We saw Owen come in, and he wasn't on the right side of the vote, but he had a really good underdog story, which was really based around immunity wins. You had Cass, very similar, right? 3 immunity wins, but all 3 of them, including Gabler, you were kind of like, what's the story there, right? You had people who lost the game, who had made big moves, and if you ever made a move in the society that created, you would be out or you would be targeted. So out of these 3, our understanding, or at least our big question for the final 3, was, what's the one move you made, or what's the one risk you took? If you had an immunity necklace around your neck, what risk did you take? Because that's when you could try to make moves. And so it was really around that. It was like, don't be comfortable. What did you try to do? And so for us, Gabler was the only one that could really say, and we could confirm that he wrote, he threw Ellie's name out at the merch feast. I was there for that. I was there when we landed on Baca Beach, and he was like, Ellie needs to go. And we were like, whoa, bro, like, chill out. We just landed. And then also, I think a lot of people underestimate the power that Fire has. If you believe you don't have the resume, go to Fire, right? Like, this is your last chance to make a splash. And so I think that's where, in a way, Gabler got us
Yeah.
too. He made the Fire, and he claimed, I wanted to make Fire, I wanted to take the biggest threat out. And that solidified that vote for us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, briefly tell me, if the offer was presented, would you return to the game of Survivor?
Heck yeah. Yo, I'm stronger than ever right now. I'm ready to go back. I'm ready, and I'm ready, different mindset, watching the gameplay, I'm so inspired. I'm ready. Jeff, call me back.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that would be excited to see you. Now, Karla, tell me, if people are interested in following you on social media, where can they find you?
Thank you. Okay, so I'm on Instagram. Yes, queer, YAS queer, and then I believe I'm on Twitter. Karla Cruz Godoy. Follow me.
All
Thank you,
right,
I
well,
appreciate
people
it.
can check you out there then. Karla, thank you so much. Huge congrats on a great season, and best of luck to whatever's next for you.